Now, away from the Champions League, we've had breaking news in the last half an hour from Celtic. Talks have broken down with Eddie Howe over their vacant manager's role, with Celtic now moving on to other targets. Budget, backroom staff and personal reasons are among various factors behind that breakdown. Former Bournemouth boss Howe had been the club's #1 choice to replace Neil Lennon after holding initial talks in March. Well, I'm very happy to say we can talk now to former Celtic midfielder Paul Lambert. Paul, thank you very much for joining us on Sky Sports News this afternoon. Huge news coming out of Celtic. How disappointing is it that they've missed out on their #1 target in Eddie Howe?
I think that any football club will have a backup plan and what Celtic's going to do. It's too big a club to think that it's going to rest on one guy to come in. I think they'll have a number of options to go and try and get. Whether Eddie was the first guy or not, nobody ever knows. But he's decided not to come. If that's the case, then you move on, because the club's bigger than anybody, and no one playing there. It's a great club. So whoever gets the job is going to walk into a great club.
Do you think Howe would have been a good fit for the club, Paul?
If you win, 100%. I think that's normal, because the pressure at Celtic's huge. I think everybody who's been a player there or a manager there, I'm pretty sure will tell you the exact same. It's really intense. And if you get it right, it's absolutely fabulous. But as I said there, I think whoever gets the job is going to walk into a fantastic place. It's going to have 60,000 behind its back every time. And it's, I think it's interesting to see who'll get it.
It's tricky when you're put on the spot like this, Paul, but is there anyone that you've thought of that you could think would do a very good job at Celtic who is perhaps either available or not available at the moment?
Well, I think when you go into a club like Celtic, I think you have to know that you can't draw. I think everybody realises that you can't really get by with a draw. You have to win every game, really, and then that includes in Europe, because the expectancy level of the club is so high. Whether you're going for the titles or the cups or Champions League qualification, you have to try and get it. So I'm hoping whoever it is comes and embraces that and realises what size of club you're walking into, because it is a huge football club.
It is a huge club, as you mentioned there, Paul. It's also a huge task coming up for whoever does take over this summer as well, because we've obviously seen what happened last season with Rangers, that 25-point deficit now. How big a job do you think it is to get Celtic competing more with Rangers in the coming season?
Well, I was part of a Celtic team was 21 points behind Rangers before Martin O'Neill came in. And Martin turned it around in his first year, which can be done. I think we went on to win the treble, so it can be done. But as I said before, the Celtic board and the people at the top of Celtic will have somebody else in mind. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I don't think there should be any alarm bells to say we've not got the manager. They'll get somebody, and they'll have a few options there, a few irons in the fire, I'm sure, because they're clever people, and the structure-wise of the club is really strong. Financially, it's really strong. It's got everything going for it. It just needs that manager to come in and really lead the club to go and have success.
OK, away from Celtic, Paul, while I've got you here, I really want to ask you about the Champions League, because you're a Champions League winner yourself. 24 hours before the final, how are you feeling?
I was actually OK, believe it or not. I never started to get nervous till I met he's equivalent to our kit man, and I met him before I went on the bus and I asked him how he was, and he said he was nervous, and then that just set me off. The nerves started to come. But once we got to the stadium, the Dortmund fans and the Juve fans, it was an incredible atmosphere. I know it's a bit different because of the COVID time, but at my time, the Olympic Stadium was a fabulous place to play, and we were lucky enough to win it that night. So, but it's the best tournament. I don't care what anybody says. When you win that, what a feeling it is.
Yeah, of course, you won it with Borussia Dortmund. Paul, I've got Dharmesh Sheth, our reporter, sat next to me, who's going to be giving us an update on Jadon Sancho shortly, but more links with Manchester United for the Dortmund forward. Do you think that would be a good move for both Sancho and United?
I guess the people at Dortmund will decide what's going to happen to him. I think that he's playing ever so well. I think him and Bellingham, Haaland, the younger guys there at the football club have been absolutely brilliant for Dortmund. Sancho goes to United. I'm pretty sure Dortmund will get a fair fair hit of money for him if he does go. Dortmund hold the ace card really. They'll say if they think it's feasible for him to go, and if he does go, then Man United have got a really good player in their hands.
OK, Paul, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us this afternoon here on Sky Sports News.